Hey everybody, this is Evan with Let's Do This, and today I'm going to show you how I smoke brisket. I use salt, sugar, and pepper. This is the end results here, and I bought this for $3.99 a pound for 10-pound brisket. When you buy it at the barbecue shops, you're spending $18, $22, $36 a pound for brisket. You can make the same thing at home. It's actually kind of easy. You want to trim off all the thick fat. You want to leave some on there to protect the meat, and as it renders down it gives a lot of flavor. So when you turn the brisket to the side here, you can see how that fat there runs all the way through. You want to cut that seam all the way through, and you're going to easily be able to separate your point from your flat. That way you have two pieces of meat that are about the same thickness, and you can cook them at the same time. It's not going to take as long as cooking the whole piece by itself. You're going to get that internal temp up higher faster, and then you can go ahead and wrap it and finish it off. So as I'm cutting through the membrane here, then there we go, and they're fully separated. You still get fat on each piece because you want to be fat side down when you're smoking your meat to help protect it so it doesn't get burnt up or dry out too fast. So trimming up again, just the chunkiest of the fat on there. You don't want it too thick, and any really hard pieces of fat, you want to get that off. So for my binder, I just go ahead and use olive oil because you just need a little bit. I've used mustard, I've used vinegar, I've used soy. I just like the olive oil best. It doesn't leave that much flavor on it, and it's good at holding the seasonings on there. And you don't have to go crazy with your seasonings because you want your flavor from the smoke, right? So just the salt, sugar, pepper is enough to penetrate the meat. I leave it out for 8 hours, let it penetrate through. And these bins are nice. I'll leave a link for those in the description below. I have 3 different sizes of these totes, but you can use them as a cutting board, you can use them as a briner. They're really nice and they clean up easy. So again, fat side down, I go ahead and load those into the smoker. I have a Masterbuilt 1050 gravity fed charcoal smoker. So once I get that loaded up, they smoke. I started this at about 7 at night, and I took it out of the smoker at about 7 in the morning, and I finished it in the oven for 3 hours till it got up to 200 degrees. I go ahead and temp that because you want to wrap it when you're about 170. Once you get over that hump of 160, 165 after the stall. And here we go, just giving it a good check. This has been turning out really good, and I leave it at 225 is my temp on those. So I'm transferring them to some tin foil because I'm done smoking them, so I don't need to wrap them in foil and put them back in. Wrapping them in foil is going to keep the smoke from penetrating them. If I wanted more smoke, I would wrap them in the butcher paper, which I've done that before too. I always had bad luck with the fat leaking out of the butcher paper though. I've gone back to just using tin foil because it holds everything in nice, and then I can just finish it off in the oven. It's easier for me to control that way. So here we are. I had the thermometer kept in there just in case the temp rised while it was resting. So I put each piece individually in the tin foil, wrap it up, and put it in the oven. I put it in at 250. And this is probably actually one of the best briskets I've done. So don't give up yet. If you want to fast forward to the end and see the reveal, you can. But I'm just showing you my whole process here. It's not the fanciest kitchen you ever seen. I never claimed it to be. I'm just showing you don't have to have all the fanciest, nicest equipment, nicest kitchen, the newest utensils. You can do this at home yourself and have real good results. The smoker doesn't really matter either if you use your pellet smoker, charcoal smoker, propane, whatever you want to use. I think it all comes out tasting the same. I've had a lot of brisket. Anytime a new barbecue joint opens up near my house, I have to go try. And, I usually end up making it better at home anyway. and it doesn't cost $22 a pound, I can tell you that. So it's taking a final temp, wondering what it is after it sits out for a little while. Give it a little push, see how much bounce back I get. Let's go ahead and give that a good wrap. And make sure the seams are on the bottom, so if it does start leaking once it's rendering, it's not going to spill all over inside your oven. I put the pan on the bottom of the oven, put the tin-foiled brisket on top, so if anything does drip out, hits the pan, not the bottom of the oven, causing flare-ups. Make sure it's nice and tight. Some people put a tent on there as a dome. I never really noticed a difference, so I've tried that too. I was a meat cutter for a number of years. My brother owns a butcher shop now. Spent a lot of time around meat. That's why it doesn't have to, your processes doesn't have to look fancy, but your results are going to be awesome regardless. So here we are. I put them in the same tote that I cut them in after I cleaned it up. I'm going to let them rest for about an hour in there. So after resting for an hour, I open it up, and then we're going to see the results here. And again, probably some of the best brisket I've done. You can see how excited the dogs are running around here. They think they're going to get a little piece. And of course they do. So you have the flat, you have the point. One of them doesn't have as much fat on it, so it's not going to be as much flop on that one. It's not dry, but it's drier than the fattier portion. Has a good flop to it. Give it a little squeeze test. And there we go. And I froze a good portion of this so I can eat brisket for the next few weeks. I just pulled out of the freezer and make whatever portions I need to. But thanks for hanging in there. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe. Any other meats you want to see me do, give me a holler. Pretty much open to all of it. I like to make beef jerky, smoke some brisket. Gonna be doing some turkey jerky soon. Thanks.